This PRS90 video is going to be covering the functionality of which is not password protected. All the screens except for the camera screen has a sensor bar which displays and monitors the state of all the sensors that are installed on the PRS90 system. Up to 8 sensors can be installed, and the sensors include wind, load, angle, and Ni2 block. The first main working screen displays sensors 1, 2, 3, and 4, and using the rotary knob, turning counterclockwise, you can scroll down to the second and third main working screens. The second main working screen displays the status of sensors 3 through 6, and the last one 5 through 8. Turning the rotary knob clockwise will scroll back up. Also from the main working screen, the rope reeving for any of the load cells that are installed can be changed. This can be done by pressing F8 from the main working screen. Load sensors are installed in sensor spots 4 and 7. Pressing the corresponding function key next to the load cell that you want to change the rope reeving can be done. When the rope reeving is increased, it also increases the number in the load cell button down in the sensor bar. The rope reeving can be increased to 25, and then at which point it will cycle back to 1. Going back to the home screen can be done by either pressing the home button or the escape button. To set limits, we have to go into the sensor settings screen. This can be done by either pressing function keys 1 through 3 or 5 through 7. In the sensor settings screen, pressing F5 will take you into the limit screen. And in the limit screen, we can set the limits for any sensors that are not anti-2 block sensors. From the limit working screen, we can set the limits for wind, load, or angle sensors. I want to set a limit for a wind speed, so we can see that sensors 3 and 6 are wind speeds. I want to set this limit particularly for sensor 3, so I'm going to press F3 to set the limit for sensor 3. I want to set the limit for 5, so using the rotary knob, I'm going to increase to 5. And then I have to activate the limit by pressing the limit on/off button. This icon and also the wind speed icon in the sensor bar will turn green. Green means that the limit has been set, activated, and has not been exceeded. These icons will also change to yellow when the limit is being reached, and then red when the limit has been exceeded. To go back to the limit screen, we can use the escape button, and this will take us back to the limit screen. I now want to set a limit for a load sensor, so we can see on the system that sensors 4 and 7 have been set as load cells. I want to set a limit for a load cell in the sensor spot 7, so I'm going to press F7, and this will take me into the load limit screen. I want to set the limit for 100, so I'm going to use the rotary knob, and then for load cells, it'll increase the unit by 50. Now that the limit has been set, I have to activate it. To do so, I have to press F3. Again, the icons will change green because the limit has been set, activated, and has not been exceeded. Now we're going to set an angle sensor limit. I'm going to go back to the limit screen, and we can see on this system that sensors 5 and 8 have been installed as angle sensors. I want to set the limit for angle sensor 5, so I'm going to press F5, and this will take me into the angle limit screen. To set our low limit, we're going to boom down to whatever value we want our lower limit to be. To set the value, I have to press F6. This will change whatever the current value was when I press the button to what the lower limit value is. To activate the limit, I have to press F7. This will change the colors of the icons to let you know that the limit has been activated. Now to set our high angle, we're going to boom up to whatever value we want our high angle to be. Once we reach this value, we're going to be pressing F2 to set our high limit. To activate it, we have to press F3. We can now boom down into an acceptable range. Now we're going to see what functions are not password protected in the setup screen. We're going to go back by using the escape key to the sensor setup screen, then we're going to press F8 to go into the setup screen. Functions in the setup screen that are not password protected are LCD brightness, key brightness, status of digital outputs, and setting the units as to what are displayed on the main working screens. To set the LCD brightness, we can press F1. This will bring up a box where we can set the brightness by using the rotary knob. Turning counterclockwise will decrease the brightness, and clockwise will increase the brightness. To set, we can press this key, or to go back to our previous setting, we can press Escape. We can also see the status of the digital outputs for limits that have been set and activated by pressing F4. The top one shows digital output 1. That is linked to anti-2 block switches and load limits that have been set. Digital output 2 is for any low limit that has been set and activated, and digital output 3 is tied to the high limit for our angle sensors. We can also change the units that display on the main working screen. Currently they are set as domestic units with the load shown in pounds. By pressing F6, we can cycle through to show metric units, domestic units with the load shown in kips, or how we started, domestic shown in pounds. I'm going to show you metric units by pressing F6 one more time, and then pressing the home key. And we can see here that it's shown in metric tons.